on YouTube. Today we are driving not a GTO and not a 4Runner. Today we are taking the newest car to the fleet, and I was in a position to do something kind of stupid, I guess, and buy a dream car. I saw it come available and I traded in my Tacoma and I bought this, a 2022 CT4V Blackwing. And today I thought I would take a minute to tell you guys a little bit about the CT4 Blackwing, how I like it and drive around, and then also share a story about the coolest thing that's ever happened to me after buying a car. I found this car for sale on the other side of the state, and I live in Michigan, so this was in the Detroit area, or the Detroit greater area. And it was a good bit better of a decent price. Oh, hang on, we're going to do a little bit of a pull, I suppose. I found it online. Truthfully, I was kind of sick of driving a truck every day. As much as I love the Tacoma and recommend it to anyone who wants a mid-size pickup truck, if you're not going to be hauling stuff, just go buy a Tacoma. Plus, they have a manual transmission. You really don't have an excuse. Yeah, I know they're expensive, but really every other truck for sale is also expensive. But the Tacoma, great truck. Personally, I miss doing things in a car. This is a great car. I need 4 doors because we're hoping to have a family or start a family sometime in the next couple of years. And one of the reasons why I traded the Camaro in for the Tacoma initially was because I wanted 4 doors, needed something with a manual, and the Tacoma made sense. There's more reasons than that, and if you look at the video I did last year about the Tacoma, you'll understand a little bit more about why I bought a Tacoma and I traded my Camaro in for it. Well, let's just say I missed having a Camaro, okay? And you can't buy a 4-door Camaro, so ever since the Blackwing came out, I wanted a Blackwing. I test drove a CT5 last weekend, and I was like, I really want it, but $100,000 is just not realistic right now. So didn't even test drive a CT4V, and I found this one online. I was like, okay, let's buy it. So long story short, I bought the car, traded the Tacoma in. They basically the dealership was Les Stanford Cadillac or Les Stanford Chevrolet. I think they're the same place. They're over in the Dearborn area, and they were super, super great to work with. Let's do a little pull here. Man, that thing is fast. Started talking to them over text, over email, a little bit on the phone, and it turns out that they offer free deliveries. So it worked out that I didn't even have to meet the guy that sold me the car, didn't have to go look at the car, didn't have to pay extra to ship it 180 miles clear across the state. We did all the paperwork over DocuSign. I got them a check for my down payment, and they took my check, and then I got the Blackwing. If you're interested in a Tacoma and you like my Tacoma, it is now for sale on the Les Stanford Chevrolet / Cadillac website. So if you go take a look at their inventory, you'll see it for sale. I think it's priced a little higher than what they're going to get, but hey, I appreciate the effort, and game recognizes game. I probably would have asked about as much myself. We're over the Tacoma. We're into the dream car. I'm beyond ecstatic. This thing is like, I don't even know how to describe it. It handles like a Miata. It pulls like a Corvette. It's 4 doors, has kind of the Holden Commodore charm of fast rear-wheel drive sedan. This thing looks the part. I can't sing enough praises about this car. Twin-turbo V6, 6-speed manual, rear-wheel drive, 472 horsepower from the factory, 445 pound-feet of torque, if I remember right. It's more than enough. It's definitely, it's one of the most perfectly well-balanced cars I've ever been in. I think I am going to drive it in the winter, so I think I am going to try and source some Blizzaks or some other winter tires and see how it goes for a winter. I plow snow, so every time there is a rainstorm or a snowstorm, I'm going to be driving in it. I'm very familiar with the transmission because I had this in my 6th gen Camaro. I had the TR6060 in my 5th gen Camaro, and I have the T56 in my GTO. So it's just like riding a bike. Wasn't too hard to get a hold of. I already have a JB4 tune box on the way, so that's going to go in probably this week. I'm going to try and put it in myself. It doesn't seem that hard, and I'm somewhat handy. So I'm going to put that in, and we'll do map 1 and 2 because I'm not really interested in doing spark plugs and fueling upgrades and exhaust. We're going to hold off on until the warranties all are expired, so that'll be a couple years down the road. And then I'll do downpipes, and I'll do a real ECU tune, and we'll really get her pushing what she can. But for now, the JB4, from what I saw on the internet, and I know YouTube is not a perfect resource for how fast your car is going to be, but I have a dyno sheet from the previous owner in the trunk for 419 rear wheel horsepower and like 440 rear wheel pound-feet of torque. So I think GM underrated the amount of torque it makes. They got the horsepower number about right. That's nice to have. It was awesome to have in the trunk, and I'm hoping that once I dyno it after the JB4, I'm somewhere around 480 to 500 on maps 1 and 2. That kind of leads into the next story, and I'll probably park for this section of the video, and I'll do a little walk around the car while I tell the story about the coolest thing that's ever happened to me after I bought a car. That way you can kind of see the ins and the outs of the car, and while that's going on, I'll tell the story about the greatest thing that's ever happened to me after buying a car. All right, so this is the new car. Do a quick walk around. It's blaze orange metallic. It's got carbon fiber 1 package on the interior. Blacked out emblems from the previous owner. I think it's got tinted windows. It looked like tinted windows. The roof is wrapped gloss black. The wheels, I think they might be plasti dipped because the other wheel over here, we've got some peeling down here. That's not curb rash, that's actually peeling. So I think the wheels might be plasti dipped. I've got real carbon fiber mirrors. I've got the carbon fiber corner canard right here. Real carbon fiber. On the interior, we've got carbon fiber under the radio, carbon fiber around the shifter and the cup holders, carbon fiber on the steering wheel. It has the red seatbelt package, the red line on the steering wheel, and other than the paint code, that I think is all the options. A lot of this carbon fiber is a custom add-on from the previous owner. And I'll throw some screenshots up for this story, but here we go for story time. So I shared a picture that looks about like this in a Facebook group called Apex Automotor. Apex Automotor is a nationwide, kind of a more premium car group. There's some really good content there. A lot of people in the industry that share content, answer questions, and just, it's honestly a really resourceful, really cool group with a lot of interesting posts. It's really well moderated, and I can't recommend it enough. Anyway, I'm a part of that group. Someone shared a post asking about what car should I buy. I think they had a Pontiac Solstice or something of the sort. We're looking for something manual, rear-wheel drive, had 400-ish horsepower, and they were just looking for something in that realm. So I've had a lot of cars that are manual, 400 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, sedan, coupe. So I chimed in, having had just bought this thing 2 days prior. I said, hey, just bought this, can't recommend it enough. A couple hours later, I checked my comments, and there's a comment from, we'll call him James. Essentially, this guy commented, is that car 320? So I went out, looked at my steering wheel, where the build number is embroidered, and sure enough, it's car 320. And he's the original owner of the car. He ordered this brand new. I don't have the post in front of me, but I think it was March of 2022. He ordered this car, and he had a lot of these goodies that I just showed you done to the car. So he told me that he had carbon fiber custom bits put on, which everything on the exterior that's carbon fiber was custom one-off. He had that made. He had the whole front end PPF'd. He had the roof wrap black. He had the windows tinted. He had the whole car ceramic coated. And then he told me that there's a goodie bag in the trunk, and I'll show you that now. So he told me to check in the trunk underneath the rear lid, and right there is a goodie bag that has all of the things in the car that he left for the next owner. And thankfully the dealership left it. I'm not going to thumb through it just because it's got a lot of personal information of the previous owner, but I'll share some screenshots. It's got all of the emblems that came on the car, so he put blacked out emblems on all four corners of the car. Even the ones down here on the door are blacked out. And then he left all the original emblems in the trunk, so if I ever wanted to swap them out, I could. Additionally, in there is some service records, some repair history, and then he also left me the original window sticker, as well as he had the car dynoed. He had the car dynoed. He didn't tune it, but at least now I have a baseline, and he put all that in that little packet for me. There's a paint marker in there so that if I have rock chips or anything, I'm already loaded up with a paint marker to do some touch-up paint if I have to. And yeah, it was kind of blew my mind that I found out about the treasure chest in the rear, found out all the information about the history of the car from the original owner who did all these things, and was able to connect with them through a Facebook group that was just a random comment under an unrelated post. That was the coolest thing that's ever happened to me after buying a car. Now, let's go drive around a little bit, and I'll tell you just how the car feels. So, if you're wondering what's going to happen with the GTO, I'm sorry to say probably not a whole lot. I'm going to sell it probably in the next month or so. I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to take it to Outback in the Midwest, which is a all Holden show that I try to go to every year in Indianapolis, where Travis Matthew Bell puts on the best show in all of car culture. I think I'm probably going to take the Cadillac just because it's not going to break, and if it does, it doesn't cost me anything to fix. But if I take the GTO and it breaks, I'm screwed. So I think I'm going to take the Cadillac. Plus it's more fun to drive, and it's got every feature I could ever want, so it makes road trips a little bit easier. Yeah, again, not entirely convinced of it, but that's probably going to be for sale in the near future once I make a final decision. And for the winter time, again, I'm going to put some snow tires on this, see how it goes for one winter. Maybe next year you'll see like a shitbox GMT 800 or some Mark IV that I drive as a winter beater. But for now, we're gonna kind of rely on the Cadillac and see what she can do as an all-around car. So far, driving this thing is just a joy. It carves so well. This is my second car with magnetic ride suspension, but this is version 4, if I remember right. Yeah, we're gonna do it. It was pink. And the suspension is nuts. I mean, I don't know that it's quite like all the reviewers on YouTube say, where it's like rides like a Rolls Royce when it's on the comfort setting, and then it handles like a GT3 RS when it's on the V mode setting. I don't think it's quite that extreme, but it is genuinely impressive how comfortable the car is, but also how well it handles. It definitely sacrifices at the extremities of that scale, but I think you can't buy a better, well-rounded suspension system in another car, at least that I've driven. The manual transmission, I can definitely tell that it's tuned a little differently than it was in either of my Camaros. In my 6th Gen SS, I think, and again, it's been a year since I drove that car, but compared to this car, I feel like that car was longer throws between gears. It was a little bit notchier, I feel like, and I feel like the gear ratios themselves were just a little bit taller in the Camaro. Again, this could just be faster, and that's why it feels like I'm running out of gear quicker, but I still think it was a little longer in the Camaro. Acceleration is not brutal. It's not the fastest thing I've ever owned to this point, but it definitely gets out of its own way, and it's plenty fast. I say that, ooh, that was the CT5E. We're gonna go chase him down. Oh yeah. All right, well, we chased down our friend. He seems to think he's got a choppy CTSV, and he did not really want to talk to me, so I gave him a thumbs up, and I just got a scowl back at me. So we're just gonna go the other way and pretend that he's not better than me for a little bit, even though his car's probably brutally fast compared to mine. Yeah, he doesn't even care about it. Anyway, where was I? So with the CT4V blackwing, I was just talking about acceleration. So even though, as I say, it's plenty fast and everybody should buy one and be happy with how it is, I like to make things faster, and one of the benefits of having turbos is that it's a lot easier to make power, because all I need to do is order a $700 tune box, plug it in, and at least according to, again, the internet's dyno sheets, I'm going to gain 60 to 100 horsepower depending on the fuel and the tune. So I like that I have the dyno sheet baseline, and once we get the JB4 installed, I'll probably throw this on a dyno and see what my gains are, and we'll be able to confirm once and for all what kind of horsepower can you make in a blackwing through just literally a JB4 tune only. No HP tuners, no intakes, no downpipe, nothing else, just a straight interrupter plug and play tune, and we'll see if it's the cheapest horsepower I've ever made. I'm feeling pretty confident about it. So beyond that, I just love driving this car. I mean, you've been with me for half an hour now, and I can't stop driving this car. It's so much fun. I mean, I've had a lot of really fun cars. This one's as fast as any of them, and it handles so well. I don't know what kind of magic that GM has pulled under the hood of this thing, but it is amazing. And I learned to drive stick on a Miata. I've driven old Ferraris, I've driven new Porsches, I've driven all manner of, and that guy just honked at me and gave me the thumbs up, so he liked the car. I've driven all kinds of different modern vehicles. I had a manual Tacoma. I've driven big dump trucks with manuals. I've driven a FedEx step-side van with a 6-speed manual, and everything in between. Sure, there's plenty of manual vehicles I haven't driven, but so far I'm very impressed with this. It might help if I was to drive this back to back with a couple other heavy hitters, at least from a handling perspective. I have not driven a GR86, and I hear those are quite fabulous around corners, but this makes 2.5 times as much power as a GR86, so I can't imagine that I will have as much fun in one of those as I would in this. And again, 4 doors, big ass trunk, and it looks a lot better, at least if you ask me. Well, for now, guys, I think I'm going to conclude the video there. I'll probably I'm not going to hold myself to it, but if the spirit moves me, I'll have one more video come out with the GTO before she gets sold. I'm going to put my subwoofer in here that I put in the Tacoma, and then I'm also going to do a video about the before and after, maybe some installation of the JB4. I don't really know what I'm doing with the JB4, so that's going to be kind of a learning experience for all of us, but I'll try and put together some kind of video or film some parts of it, so if there's anything I run into that might be helpful, I'll share it in the video, but more so concerned with the before and after of it. Either way, guys, sorry it's been a while. I told you it's not going to be any kind of regular posting on this channel, just kind of whenever I want to make a video, I will. I appreciate you tuning in, subscribing, all the same. Sorry if you were here for Tacoma content and that's not here anymore. And I hope that you all enjoy the CT4V blackwing content that's going to come down the pipe. I'll definitely do a winter driving video because there's not a whole lot of videos on YouTube about a CT4V blackwing in real snow like we get here in Michigan. And I'm hoping that's a long ways away, but again, we'll do it. Thanks for spending your time with me this evening, and I will see you in the next video.